Hey everyone, so time to start a really cool project I've been looking forward to doing for ages now. It's been a bit of time in the making, in design and everything, and it is, as you can see from the plans, a water wheel. So we're going to be building it. It's a 2.1 meter water wheel, all steel construction. Wood would be a more traditional method for a water wheel, but wood is actually a really bad material for water wheels because it moves and you constantly have to readjust it to track right. So we're going for an all steel, modern construction water wheel. It's 2.1 meters. It's going to flow maximum of 150 litres a second. It's got about 50 litre buckets and about 3 of them will pass per second. It's going to be about 150 litres a second for between 1.5 1.7 kilowatts. We've got gear reduction, permanent magnet alternator, and it's going to be grid tied. So yeah, let's get to work. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make the frame and the hub and get the gear reduction all working right. So we've got a 50-to-1 gear reduction here. The wheel's only going to be doing about between 12 and 16 RPM depending on flow rate, so we've got to increase the speed. So that's our gear reduction, and then that's going to be powering a low RPM, so 500 RPM, 2 kilowatt permanent magnet alternator. That's going to be driven from the hub, which is here. So we're going to get the drive line, frame and everything working right, and then we'll CNC plasma cut all the parts out for the rest of the wheel. So this video will be a little bit of talking, a little bit of updating, explaining what's going on, but mostly just working. And we'll try and do it all in one video. So this is our hub. So it's pretty concentric, within a millimetre anyway, which is pretty good for this because it's only actually going to turn at about that speed. It's about 16 RPM. Be about that. A turn every 3.7 seconds. So it's not a fast spinning device, and it looks pretty good. So the next job is to cut out the bigger hubs that the spokes all connect to, and then get them tacked on. So that there is our belt tensioner, and it also resists the torque of this gearbox turning. So it's just mounted to a nice big strong 10mm plate welded to the main frame. So yeah, we've got the wheel mounted, everything's only tack welded, and we've got the alternator mounted to standard made. I didn't actually film that. Got the gearbox mounted and the belt drive. I've connected up the bridge rectifier. I just want to see what voltage I get at the approximate RPM we're going to be running at. So we're going to be running at an RPM of about 16, which means a rotation every 3.7 seconds. So I'm watching that key still there. I'm going to try and get it to about the speed that I think it is. So I reckon we're about that. And we are getting 230 volts. And this is for a grid-tied system. So we're basically matching grid voltage, which is perfect. So that's excellent. So yeah, we're up at basically exactly grid voltage at the approximate RPM it's going to turn at. So that's really good. So that is looking really good. So now I'm going to start cutting out the outer ring and start getting them fitted, and then it's making buckets. Okay, I've got one side of the ring on. Has a 10mm buckle in it at the moment, but I'll work that out soon. It's not too bad. Actually better than I was expecting it to be. Just need to give some of the bolt holes a little bit of clearance, because as I put the last one in, it put a little buckle in it. That's okay. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to add a little bit of clearance to this side, because I know this side was a little bit too tight. And then we'll start building the buckets between them, and hopefully that'll pull it in line and make it track right. Yeah, looking good. So there's our first fit. So it's not quite right. I've got to take it apart again, same as the other side. It's all just a little bit too tight. The last one won't quite go in. If I can stop that. There we go. So we have an overlap there that if I was to force that in there, it'll put a buckle in it, you know, it'll buckle it like that. So we've got about 3 or 4 mil. So that means we need to sort of take, well, about 0.4 of a millimetre off every one of these edges, because they're all just a little bit too tight. So yeah, they're all just too tight. This is the last one that won't go in. But they're all touching, and as a result of them all touching, it's just a little bit bigger. The ring is just a little bit bigger than it should be. So I just got to take it apart, just take a little bit off of all these just so it butts up a bit smaller, and then we'll be good. Okay, I've taken a little bit off of all of the ends, just a little grind off of them, and now it'll fit. Just make sure I've got this around the right way. It's that way. So that slides in there. There we go. Something I haven't shown is this belt tensioner system. So the gearbox is free to cant over, and I have a turnbuckle here. Wind that in, and that tensions the belt. The alternator is not even bolted down at the moment, but we can put a little bit of tension on it, and that's it there. We've got the voltage meter hooked up, so we can turn it to the speed that we know it's going to go at, which is about 230 volts. Which is about there. It's very pleasing. That's cool. Right, next we need to work on the buckets that go between. Just look back at some of the footage and seen I've got a big hole in the back of my t-shirt. So maybe once I sell this to the customer, I can buy myself a new t-shirt. Six. Go. There we go. So that form should take that shape very well. So I have to force it a little bit round with the clamp there, just on that bend. But we're very close, we're within a few millimeters. There we go. Just do that 16 times. So this is it straight off the former. Just slide that in and that would be ready to weld up. There's a tiny gap here, we'll just force that round with a clamp. That'll close up no problem. So I'm just doing a bucket volume test. In my plans I worked out at 42 litres in each bucket. I've just actually filled one. It's actually closer to 45, and it'll be a little bit more as well than that if it's completely full, because this will have an edge on it here, so it'll come up another. So maybe even 48 litres completely full. We'll be looking at about 1.7 kilowatts, which is exactly what I planned for. Let's see how the water exits out of the bucket as the angle changes, as it that looks great. Excellent. So I've been originally, when I designed this, I was going to make it with no welding on the buckets, so they just form round and make a seal up against the sides. But I looked at other companies that do it like that, examples of their water wheels, and they tend to leak a lot. You know, there's often water gets down out the sides, and you know, it's kind of not a huge amount of water to lose. But not only is it water that's not in the bucket, but it's water that then also falls somewhere on the wheel, adding drag. And it just didn't seem right to me to have it leaking. So I wanted to make one that doesn't leak. So I went with the welding. And welding the ends is fine, no distortion. But as soon as I put in this middle piece to add lots of strength, because I want them to be really strong, and this nice 10mm bar here, I've ended up with distortion in the buckets now. You can see I've put it in the light to exaggerate it, but I'm quite unhappy about the distortion. I was worried about it doing that anyway because of the galvanizing we're doing, but yeah, structurally and the way it works and everything, no problem at all. And this lip I'm welding on has added a lot of extra work for me, but it adds a lot of strength to the edge. It's going to stop that edge eroding from impact from, you know, suspended sediment and stuff that's in the water. It's going to make this really durable. And on top of that, it also keeps about 5 litres of extra water in the bucket for longer. So having this little ledge here means that the angle is still correct at the top to grab the water, but it means that at the very last point, which I don't know if you can see there, the very last point down here, it still holds on to a bit more water for a bit longer. So it's very helpful thing to have in terms of efficiency. It's just causing me this distortion, unfortunately. If we have a look at these two are probably some of the worst ones. So I'm just speaking to the customer now to find out if he thinks that's acceptable or not. If not, we're going to have to redesign it and go back. Okay, that is the trough support. So that's going to support the water trough that feeds the wheel, basically, on the end of it. So off camera the other day, I just made up this bracket and got this box installed because this alternator didn't really come with a good way of connecting to it. So I waterproofed that IP rated box, ready for our output to come out and go off to the house. So yeah, this is actually now in a position where it's ready to come apart. Everything's working as it should, everything's lining up properly, and it's ready to take apart to go for coating. I'm really pleased with the tracking of it. It's just tracking really well considering its size and everything. You know, can't fault the tracking at all. It's within about 10 millimeters maximum, you know, any kind of deviation, so it's really quite good. So yeah, I'm going to take it apart, stack all the pieces that are completely done. The hub still needs a bit more welding on it, and I need to drill out the frame for the galvanizing drain ports, vents, and then it's ready to go off. Ready to go off and get coated. And then next time you guys will see it, it will be getting installed, which is really quite exciting. So now that I'm happy that all the parts fit together and the wheel is going to track properly and true, I'm going to finalise welding all of the parts that haven't been completely welded yet, mostly the hub and some parts on the splash guard cover. And then it's going to get all taken apart, packed up, put on a trailer, taken to a galvanising facility. They're going to galvanise it, and then after that it's going off for powder coating to the colours of the customer's choosing, and then we shall be putting it back on the trailer and heading off to fit it. Hey everyone, so since the last clip of me finishing the wheel, everything's been sent off to be powder coated, galvanised and powder coated. So everything's all wrapped. That's how it came straight from me. I'm not even going to unwrap it, but you can see there's the leg of the main frame, for example. It's currently raining, and it's been raining a lot, and so that means when we get there we're gonna have an unexpected bit of work to do because the dam that's holding back all the water, temporary dam, so that we can fit this, has failed. So we're gonna have to reinstate the dam before we can start putting this up. But yeah, I got a long drive with the old Land Rover and trailer, and yeah, once I get there we should start a new video of getting this all assembled. So yeah, on to the next part, part 2. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.